click, and it's recording.
Alright, so get started.
Oh, nice
Hello.
to meet you. Can I ask what your preferred name would be?
Pam.
Pam. It's lovely to meet you. I love your hair, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
So, did you find the building okay?
Yes, I did.
And
Thanks.
is the weather still holding up outside?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's
Dark.
dark. I heard there's going to be snow later today, so I just wanted to ask for
Oh,
my own peace of
no.
mind. Oh, yeah. Never good.
No.
Awesome. So, just before we start, I do have to go over a few things.
Okay.
First off, I just wanted to let you know that I'm just getting over some sickness, and that's why I'm wearing a mask. It's just to prevent us from cross-contamination. Just wanted to let you know that beforehand.
Okay.
And then my next question for you is, have you ever been to counseling before?
No, I haven't.
No? So this is your first time?
Yes.
Awesome. That's great to know. I know a lot of people are just, like, recently starting to come to counseling, and so it's great to have another, member to that group. All right, so moving on, I do have to go over confidentiality.
All right.
I've never heard of confidentiality before.
I'm assuming it's whether or not you're going to share information.
Yeah, so what confidentiality basically means is that what you tell me here stays between you and me, and it can't be shared to any type of third party.
Okay.
So there are 3 ways of which confidentiality would be broken. The first one being if you plan to harm yourself or harm others. I would have to report that
To who?
to any authorities just for your own health and your well-being.
Authorities, police.
Police, medical, other things, we will definitely talk about that if something does come up like that.
Okay.
We would definitely talk about that, and I would provide you with 100% our next steps for that.
Okay.
The next one would be if I'm subpoenaed by court of law. So if something happens and a judge does contact me, once again, you would be let know of this whole process. But I would have to share some information of that as well.
If I was in court or anybody's in court
If you're in court, so if
Okay.
you're in court and then a judge gets in contact with me, you obviously would be let know before then, and I would also share with you that I am sending information.
Okay.
And the last one is child abuse. So if you mention anything about child abuse, whether that's in your home or you know of a case of child abuse, I would also have to report that as well.
Okay.
Does that sound okay with you?
Yes.
Awesome. So I do also, just before we jump in, I know we only have 15 minutes today, and I apologize for taking so long. I want to go over sort of the expectations for this counseling session, since it is your first time. So the expectations of this counseling session are just that I get to know you a little bit, get to know about why you're attending counseling, just things like that, and for you to provide me with any information that you feel like I should know, anything like that. Does that sound okay with you?
Yeah, sure.
So just kicking off our counseling session, can I ask what brought you in here today?
Well, my partner
Okay.
wants me to talk to someone. I don't really see the value in it, so I think you to convince me that there is a value to counseling before I can invest in it. And so I've done some research,
Okay.
and I've written down some questions that I need clarified before I, would consider, talking to you.
Yeah, and I can definitely do my best to answer those questions.
Thank you.
If you do ask, sorry, I just want to clarify. If you do ask a question and I don't know the answer to it, I would 100% be willing to go and look into that for you and get back to you with that information as well, if that's okay.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you. So, can you just tell me what is counseling, in your opinion?
So in my opinion, counseling is just giving, you the opportunity to come in and discuss something that may be bothering you, a problem by chance, something that's just impacting you or you are feeling a certain way about, and just giving you the chance to explain that to me, and then possibly talking about and finding a solution to this problem that you might be facing.
Okay. So, what would a typical session look like? Like, what happens?
Yeah, so during our session, since it is our first session, we went over confidentiality, sort of the expectations. For a normal session, I would have you come in, if we talked previously, a previous session, touch topics maybe on that as well, but it's always coming back to how are you feeling now, and what can we do to sort of help you feel any better in that time.
Okay. How is counseling supposed to help me?
A lot of people find it very differently. I personally look at it as a way of it helps people from being able to sort their emotions and finding solutions that maybe they just didn't see before. A lot of times it just gives people the opportunity to talk through their problems, and sometimes that's enough. And sometimes we as counselors provide information or help provide that support so that you guys or everyone can find a solution to that problem that brought them here in the first place.
So how long does this process last, from start to finish?
Yeah, that's definitely a fair question. So it depends on the client, honestly. So it also depends sort of on the problem. If it's a more complex problem that may have a few, different contributing factors to it, it could take somewhere longer than just, having one session and you're able to talk through your feelings. So I would have to know more about, your specific problem or what's specifically bothering you in order to move forward with that, to really set an amount.
Right. But you're not, would you be saying, okay, well, I've been seeing you X amount of time, no more, or something?
Oh no, definitely not. So what we do here with counseling, we work with you to know when you feel like you don't need counseling anymore. So some person could take much longer and it could take, a longer period of time with the counselor. Or sometimes some people just need, one session just to talk through and sort their feelings. So it's completely up to the certain individual.
Okay, good to know. So because now I guess if I'm going to invest in this, I'm kind of hoping I find somebody that's a good fit.
Yeah, definitely.
So I've got some questions just to get to know you a bit better. Why did you become a counselor?
I became a counselor for, a number of reasons. I really like working in a counseling setting. I like being able to help individuals, sort through their feelings, which is what I'm sort of hoping that eventually we'd be able to look into.
What are your credentials?
So I am, a graduate of Fanshawe College, where I did pass all my counseling courses there. And then I've also been doing some counseling for a little bit as well, where I've dealt with other clients, where they've come in and I've done counseling sessions with them.
Okay. What do you think your strengths are when you're counseling? As a counselor, what would you say are your strengths?
I like getting to know my clients. I like understanding their stories, which is what I'm hoping to be able to do today. With you, obviously, since we only do have 15 minutes.
Right.
But yeah, just being able to understand or help my clients sort through their feelings and thoughts and things like that is what's really important.
Have you ever been to counseling?
I actually can't disclose that information just because of our facility's policies.
You can't tell me if you've been to counseling because of your facility's policies. I don't know what that means.
So it's just because of confidentiality for me. I'm not able to disclose that information, unfortunately.
So is that a sense in the confidentiality thing? Or you don't want to talk about it, or you just can't? You just legally, it's a legal thing, you can't?
So I'm not 100% sure on that, but as a counselor, typically with these sessions, we do try to focus on the client, and so we always have that set sort of boundary, per se, of keeping that to ourselves, because we really do want to focus this time on you guys.
Yeah, I guess for me it would be if you had said yes, I would have thought, wow, that's somebody that's, seen this side of it.
Yeah.
There might be I might be thinking, well, it's kind of that walk a mile in my shoes sort of thing.
And that's I understand that's 100% very important with a counselor, especially with being able to connect and things like that.
Right. So yeah, I wasn't aware that you wouldn't be able to talk about whatever you felt you wanted to talk about because of rules.
Well, we just really want to focus on you in our sessions.
Right. Right. Seems a bit side stuff, but, so, I'm assuming when I leave, you're gonna write down whatever transpired in here, just so that next time I come in, you'll have a trigger, like you'll know
Yep,
what
so
happened last. So what happens to those notes? Like, are they just written on paper, or are they electronic, or?
So we do keep files, which are just our normal paper files, and those are locked away. Only I am able to access them. And that's just because of confidentiality. We do also keep online just records, sort of our database saying that you did come to counseling, but other than that, everything is kept very confidential, with sort of lock and key.
Right, so it's everything about me, like my complete name, or do I get a code number, or how does that work?
So I'm not 100% sure, just because I don't have access to code numbers or everything. I just have really access to the notes that I take, which if you ever do want to access them is completely fine, and you can just ask for those, and I would be able to get you a copy of those as well. So it is just sort of our paper copy. It's just your information, sort of the consensus that you signed before coming in here, all that sort of information that you were willing to give to us does go in there.
Right. And so you don't have like in-services or something where you get together and then you present cases and amongst your peers or anything like that?
No, so everything that you disclose to me is confidential, so I don't take that to anyone else outside.
Okay. Just wondering, like, do you like all your clients? I mean, say you didn't really like me, like we weren't a good fit. How much would you be secretly judging me, or thinking, I don't want to put all that energy into her, that kind of thing?
Yeah, and that's a completely understandable question. For me personally, I don't hold any feelings like that towards my clients. I treat everyone as equally as possible. So no, I don't hold sort of anything like that where I favorite a client. No. Sorry,
Go ahead.
is there anything that you sort of want to talk about, just because our time is coming to an end?
I noticed throughout this, you mentioned the word feelings, I think maybe 4 or 5 times.
Okay.
And I'm getting the sense that this is a feelings-based approach, that I need to talk about my feelings. Is that how it works, or?
Well, no. It is an option if you do want to, talk about your feelings. That is 100% on the table. Part of our job is to sort of help you be able to process that. But a large part of it can also be you come into counseling and you want us to help you find some resources or figure out how to sort out a problem that you may be having. So it can be feelings-based, based on what you'd like to share in the future. If you choose to come back, or it can be something where we just solely focus on trying to solve a problem that you might be having.
I'm a very logical person. I think most problems can be solved through thought and logic, and the whole basing decisions based on feelings is not ideal.
Yeah, it's definitely not for everyone, and that's completely understandable. Some people are just different, and some people like to talk about their feelings, and some are more, just looking for solution-based approaches.
Right, right. So throughout this, do you figure out a game plan for me? Like, do you say, okay, well, in this situation, you should try that, or you should try that, or you should try that?
So I never like to push my clients to try things. I like working with my clients in order to, find best approaches that fit them. So something that may work for one might not work for another, and that's completely understandable. Something that might work for you might not work for another client,
Right.
Which is that's totally fine. But we like to focus on working, especially I like to focus on working specifically with each client individually.
Right.
I am just going to finish up here,
Okay.
just because we are running out of time, unfortunately.
All right.
But just through this counseling session, we sort of got a chance to, talk, maybe a little bit of connecting here, seeing if you would like to maybe come back to counseling, might be is that something that you'd like to do in the future?
I think I'm gonna take this away,
Okay,
digest it again. I mean, we went through all the questions I had,
okay,
so I'm just gonna process your answers and go from there.
awesome, and that's completely fine. It was very nice to meet you today, Pam.
Nice to meet you too.
Awesome, I hope you have a great rest of your day, okay?
Thank you. I hope you feel better.
Thank you so much, I appreciate it.